There I am.
Tommy Chong.
Howdy.
Hey, let me turn this off. Is your microphone on?
It looks that way. I don't know.
I
Is
think
it
I hear
on?
you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little. It's not too loud. Uh,
Oh, I got to
Maybe
turn
turn
it
the
up
volume.
here.
Look at these guitars.
Let me see the bar.
Maybe turn the volume up a little bit.
Well, let me get you back.
Oh, he's coming back. Cat BM says, "Can't wait. You still doing cameos?" Yes, always doing cameos. I think it's been. I have done 3,900 and a couple. So we are closing in on 4,000 cameos. I think Tommy's back. All
Can
right.
you hear me?
I can hear you. It's not the loudest. It's not the loudest. Um, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got it up as loud as I can get it now.
Okay. All right. Let me
I can hear you fine.
yeah, I'm having a hard time. I wonder maybe let me ask some of the people viewing. Can you guys hear Tommy? Okay. If you can hear Tommy, well actually, can you start by doing a drop for the show? It's like, hey,
Sure.
this is now you have Thomas Chong. It's very formal. Hey, this is Tommy Chong, and you're watching the Dominick Natty Show.
Dominic, Natty,
Dominick Natty like Cincinnati.
Natty. Hey, this is Tommy Chong, and you're watching the Dominic Natty Show.
Okay, all right, Melissa, you can hear him. Okay, okay, great. All right, so then I will just it must be just on my end. So okay, I'll just do my radio intro, and then we will get started.
Okay.
Okay, well, welcome back to the Dominick Natty Show on Intellectual Radio in Chicago and anywhere that voices can be heard. I've been telling you about our special guest. The man himself is here, Tommy Chong. Tommy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really well, man. I love what's going on in the world. I'm really happy.
Awesome. Okay, now, first of all, can you tell us like what projects and business ventures? What are you working on, and what are you promoting right now?
Right now, I'm on track to become the richest man in the world, or with my partner, Cheech. We want to become the richest men in the world, and we're on track now because we have cannabis product for sale, and I have cannabis and hemp products for sale, and and Cheech and I are in the beginning of going public with a company that's going to have the biggest and the best dispensaries around the world. Along with our delivery service and along with our hemp products. So yeah, eventually I want to become the richest man in the world.
Hemp pro. Okay. Now, what do your products have that are different from other hemp companies?
Well, it has my name, number one, and my name is famous with not only cannabis but for the hemp and the CBD products also, and I think we've kind of proven the fact that Cheech and Chong are really if not the inventors of the cannabis. We're the first to uh, to claim to the world how safe and how much fun cannabis can be, and and so now we're in the midst of capitalizing on that knowledge and that fact. You know that if you want our if you see a Cheech and Chong product, you know it's been tested by the best, and that's part of it. You know.
Awesome. Okay, that's true. That's true. Nobody knows more than about cannabis than Cheech and Chong. Now, I know that there's a couple like we talk about current events in pop culture here. So and you are a comedian and musician and activist. You're a lot of things. But I'm interested in some of your thoughts on comedy. I mean, you've been in comedy for over 60 years, if I'm correct. And
Yeah.
I mean, how has it changed in that time? And do you think it's gotten better or worse?
Comedy, we go through stages, and what comedy really is, it's a humorous outlook on truth. We deal with truth, uh, especially when it's trying to be sold to people as a lie. You know, finding out a lie is being truthful, and so when you deal with truth, which is you're dealing with the unshakable things that are, that exist in the world. Uh, and when we do, as a comedians, we find the humor, the ironic, the ridiculous. We find whatever is there, and if it's not there, and if it's perfect, we riff on that. We talk about that. The thing I found out is that God Himself has a sense of humor.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about this though? I mean, in Half Baked, you worked with Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
So cancel culture is trying to get rid of Dave Chappelle because his last special was transphobic. I
I
mean,
don't think I don't think you're reading it right there. I don't think anybody is. Everybody forgets. It's a thing called negative publicity. It's what got Trump in power. It's what remember Rosie O'Donnell and Trump, they had a little feud going. Do you remember that?
yeah,
Okay. Before that, no one knew who Rosie O'Donnell was, really.
right.
After that, everybody knew who Rosie O'Donnell was. And whatever Rosie O'Donnell did, it was worth something because she had name recognition. And so with the Chappelle, I think people you get distracted, and Trump is the king inadvertently of distraction, uh, and attention. It's called distraction for attention. And so what's happening with Chappelle? It's a funny bit. It's a funny thing, but it's not selling the way he would like it to sell. So you get the controversy going. Now you got controversy, and if you don't have it, you find it. You invent it. You invent it because it's got to be. Uh, the phrase top shelf.
Sure. Yeah.
That's because when you walk into a store, whatever eye level is what gets your eye. You see, you can have the best product in the world, but if it's not on that top shelf, it's not going to get the same action that a lesser product would get that was on the top shelf. And so, in order to sell a product, you have to be aware of product. And in this day and age, there's so much product coming out at you every day, every minute of the day, that you can't separate it. Like I know myself because I used to do sort of like a review, consumer report on different products that were coming out for uh, what was that magazine? The weekly LA Weekly, the weekly
Right.
magazine called LA Weekly. Uh, well, there were some products they're incredible, but they disappeared because they just never got any attention. And I reviewed them and I looked at them. Well, these are great. Then they disappear. They're out. They're gone. And especially in the cannabis business, because there's so many ways now to smoke cannabis. To eat it. You can eat it. You can smoke it. You can dab it. You can do all sorts of things. You could rub it on. It's topical. Everything else. So everybody's fighting for that top shelf. See, and that's why, like my name and Cheech's name, is so important because we get your attention. When you mention Chong, oh, okay, I know who Chong is. And right away, that helps whatever I'm selling. But actually, cannabis, and especially my product, like this year, is called Nice Dreams, and
Okay.
I'm supposed to be calling it hemp. It's really CBD.
Okay.
And what you do if you want a good night's sleep, you take a little dropper and you put it through your tongue, and it's healthy. It's CBD. It's nano, so it gets right to the area affected, and it's filled with a lot of really healthy sleep aids. And so that product itself is going to make me so wealthy because it's good for every people of all ages. Again, like I said, it's hemp, and so legally I can promote hemp, and so I'm selling that. It's gone crazy. It's in all kinds of stores, drugstores. It's getting that status like an aspirin would get, or Tylenol, you know. And so I'm getting into the. I'm getting close to it. Now I have another tonic which is called uh, Good Vibes. Now it's got a red picture of me on there to show that it gives you energy. After you wake up in the morning, you give yourself a little shot of this. It's not a narcotic or any thing that's going to become addicting, other than the way it works. Now these bottles are expensive. They're like 50 some odd dollars retail. And so I didn't know that at first, and I'm kind of glugging it, you know. But I realized, what? If it's that expensive, you just want to use a little droplet, and it works. And so what the cannabis world has done for me and for everybody is steered the world into a healthy alternative to all the poison and all the terrible pharmaceuticals. They even got a movie out about about the what do you call it, the oxycontin and all the bad
Hmm.
opioids, the opioids, synthetic heroin, really. And they've got a movie out about the dangers. How you die from fentanyl. This stops your heart. Uh, and 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 there's a lot of medical procedures now that are no longer used, like ether, for instance. Remember ether?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, ether. I took a drug education course when I was in prison. In fact, it was one of my favorite courses to take because I learned all about drugs. Well, I learned that ether. The reason they used to have or the reason they do have an anesthesiologist beside you when you're going is so that they can monitor you your conditions to make sure that you don't die. Because what it does, it takes you to the brink of death. That's why they can operate on your body, because there's no feeling. You don't have any nerve action or anything. And so that's how dangerous it is, that you have to have guys sitting there monitoring, and if he gives you a tiny little bit too much, you're gone. And if they don't give you enough, you feel pain. Well, those days are almost gone now, because we have safe ways of putting people out, even with acupuncture, even without drugs at all. Uh, and so we're learning, and this is what they found out about cannabis. You know, they tried to demonize. They did demonize it for years. Where it was considered the most terrible thing on the planet. It was going to do, and it was all it was really was a race law. It was a racist law. It was an excuse to keep the black and the brown people down, or the others as they call them, and because they're the brown people, especially cannabis, originated, according to my studies, in India. thousands and thousands of years ago, and it's always been used in India as a religious sacrament, and it's used in Mexico as medicine, and it's used all over the world. And it goes back as far as like 10 million years ago. They found, I think it was, what do they call it? They call him the Iceman, but they found the remains of an ancient 10 million year old traveler, and he had cannabis products on his body. He was perfectly preserved for 10 million years. He was caught in a glacier. I guess he was caught in a snowstorm or something. Anyway, he died, and he was preserved perfectly. Well, they're going through his clothes. They found cannabis. So it's a gift from God, and it's always been here. And like, there's so many things on this planet that have been here for us, to have a healthy, beautiful life. But in our rush for greed and ignorance and just being human, we've made a lot of that stuff illegal.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at now.
Let me make sure that you finished your thought about comedy before. So, are you saying, were you saying that basically Chappelle did these things for attention, even if it's negative attention? Was that your point?
Yeah, absolutely. Lenny Bruce did it back in the day. Lenny Bruce did it inadvertently. You know, and if you see the show, there's nothing detrimental about talking about what he said about any tranny or anybody. Nothing, nothing that you would go, that's wrong.
Yeah.
See, when you're dealing with comedy, in order to make it funny, it has to be true. You
Yeah.
have to be talking truth. Yeah. Or you can make it so ridiculous that people will laugh at how ridiculous it is. Like Gallagher smashing a watermelon. That's ridiculous. But everybody laughs at it, and they go to the show. Oh, they can't wait to see him, do that. That's comedy. See, comedy always boils on truth, and that's what people watch
Yeah.
comedy for. You get addicted to it, because you hear that truth, and that's why comedians. The worst thing a comedian can be is boring.
Right.
And that's what Chappelle. That's what I'm saying about Chappelle. No, he's doing it right. He's bringing attention to it.
Are people being too sensitive? I mean, so if Chappelle's not wrong, then who's wrong in the situation? Is it just people are too
Nobody's wrong. Everybody's being manipulated.
manipulated?
That's it.
By
That's
who?
what's going on now. You think those Republicans are really that stupid? No, they're not. You think Ted Cruz is that dumb, or Jim Jordan? I mean, the way they're acting, you think that they're so retarded. It's you almost want to give them a check, give them some money, to help them out with their schooling or something, But no, it's all an act. These guys are all just playing an act. They found that if they speak negatively about people, then now you got the cameras in front of their face. Look at that. I can't even remember her name, but I mean, the statements coming out of her mouth are so ridiculous. But that's why they say that. It's for attention. It's to get the people to press. And by the way, while we're talking about this, I'm the only one in my family. My wife, she gets manipulated. Everybody gets manipulated. Because they're not like me. Where I study. I study people's. Really mean that. What do they say? Why is that funny? There's times I'll watch somebody and see why they're funny, because laughing is a honest response. You can fake it, but you can tell that it's being faked. But true laughter is an honest response, and it's a beautiful response. And so when I see something Chappelle, at first I was not a big Chappelle fan until I saw him do his show. Then I saw how many chances he took and how he would. And Chappelle himself, he got into dangerous territory. That's why he quit the show, you know. And that's the same as Cheech and Chong. We basically we're got off the road, not so much because of the pandemic. We use that as an excuse. But what happened was that our crowd started turning against us because we were the darlings of the Trumpy set, for eons, for ever since we started. That crowd really connected with Cheech and Chong, and then the racist stuff started coming in seriously. See, up until then, we made fun of that, and the black humor. I do it called Blind Melon and Chitlin, where I play a black blues singer, and it was so funny right up until they weren't laughing at the guy as much as they were kind of hating the guy, the Trumpies,
Yeah.
and then I started getting. I do a song called "Does Your Mama Know About Me?" about an interracial couple, and I remember back east we started the song, and I heard someone in the audience go "boring," and whoa, right there it was like, whoa, time to hang it up, time to get out of this, because you can't dictate what the audience is going, how they're going to react. You can just do it and then hope that you got the intelligent there that understand, they get your humor, and with Cheech and Chong. Now, if we work anywhere in the South or West, we're fine because we got hordes of Chicano, Latino, hip people to come and see our show. But you go back east, whoa, it's a whole different story. New Jersey, even at our peak, when Cheech and Chong were like the hottest things in America, we had trouble in New York, we had trouble in New Jersey. And what I mean by trouble is that we were playing to the Trumpies back then. Back then, they didn't know. The only Mexican they knew was Latino, was a Puerto Rican, and they had very low opinions of anybody of color. I'm talking about the people from back east. So we stayed away from there as much as we could. We never had booking. We when we were hot, we played all everywhere. But then, as when Cheech and I got back together again after breaking up, then we started. They're picking and choosing where we would work for that reason.
Well, you're talking about your crowd. So, what about some other people? I wanted to ask you this because I know that you had a wide variety of different crowds, right? So, have you followed this thing with Travis Scott? I mean, he had 9 people that were trampled from a crowd surge at his concert. Like, as an entertainer, is a performer to blame when a crowd gets out of hand? Like, is Travis Scott to blame?
Totally, yes, totally. He incited a riot. He got on the mic and he incited the riot. He invited the people to go over the barricades. He invited to ignore the security. He did it. But see, back in the day, they used to have a performance bond. When Jim Morrison, showed his wiener on stage, and he got arrested for that. Well, then the hall owners would slap a $5,000 performance bond, and if you got out of line anyway, boom, you lost that money, and sometimes they wouldn't even pay you, for inciting any kind of trouble. Forget riot, trouble. Period. Cops being arrested, but these promoters like Live Nation, they get a little greedy. They got a lot of overhead, and I understand that, but still, instead of trying to calm down the audience, they incite them. they incite violence. And what happened? The crowds have changed over the years, and and the music really mirrors what changes are taking place. Like there's a documentary of the police. It's called I didn't want to I don't want to leave you. It's written. It was produced and recorded by Andy Summers, I think his name is. He's the guitar player for a group called the Police, and Sting's the bass player, and Miles Copeland was the drummer. Well, when they were coming up, they came up kind of Beatles kind of era, a little behind them. Uh, then the music changed almost like to punk. Johnny Rotten and the boys. Well, in the documentary, here's Sting and them. Oh, they could do punk in a minute. They're so good. They're so incredible. So they're kind of like jumping up and down, pogoing like the punk rockers. Only trouble is the audience are treating them like punk rockers, and they're spitting on them because that was the thing. I spit on. Yeah, you're nothing but dirt. Spit on. And these guys are used to being spit on. They were used to being treated like rock and roll stars, All of a sudden they got people spitting, and the guys got spit in the face, and it was horrible. And so the audiences really dictate the kind of entertainment you're getting, and and unfortunately, that's what's happening. The rappers, they always go further than they should. Back in the day, the first rappers, they were kind of cute. It was I forget his name now, but anyway, the first rap record it was kind of cute, kind of a novel, and then the hood, Boys in the Hood, and all the gangster rap come out. Okay, that's dangerous, people getting shot and killed, and else. But it was, and then the fact that no record companies would take these guys, then they started selling the records out of the trunk of their car, and then now they don't need a record company. You can sell directly to the people because of the way we got now. But with Travis. I watched the show and I checked out the rest of the what went on. It was an accident that they just weren't following any kind of guidelines that were set previous. That they ignored them all. They ignored them all, and they ignored the fact you had a emergency vehicle there that should have shut the show down. You know but the audience, we've evolved to the point where the rappers, they believe they're gangsters. In fact, I was in jail with a rapper, and he's doing 5 years in jail because they found a gun on him. They were doing a drug bust on the rapper. He got busted for pot or something, but they found a gun on him. Now I met the guy. We're Sully's, and he was never going to use the gun. It was all for show. His dentist, he was playing like he's a gangster. He was not even close to being a gangster. He's a singer,
Yeah.
but it was part of the makeup, and as a result, he ends up doing 5 years in jail. Uh, so there's a lot of this theatrics going on, you know and these guys, they fall in line. But see, back in the day when early rock and roll started, Bill Haley and the Comets, for instance, uh, the rock and roll attracted all the thugs, because it was wild and crazy and loud. Up until rock and roll, you had the big band, and they would play a jive song, but it was almost, in some areas there was segregation. If you were black, you were out in the ballroom, and the ballroom dances themselves were styled to exude gentleness and humor and kindness. waltzes, you had rumbas, you had cha-chas, you had these tangos. There's rules of engagement with these. You got to dress right, look right, act right, and treat a woman with respect, everything. That all disintegrated. And now we're going back into civilization. Now we're back to the Stone Age almost, where they get a guy on stage going, hey, fuck the police, and forget those barricades. Come on up, yeah, and it's just such negative energy,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on now.
Do you think that Travis Scott is like a fake gangster, like where he pretends to be a gangster, but he's really just a recording artist?
I'm guessing that's the fact, because a real gangster would have seen the problem right away. Because real gangsters, they know, they can recognize danger, you know. And fake gangsters, they're the ones that carry a gun, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't do not carry a weapon unless you know how to use it, and you have to use it, That's what I'm seeing in all these trials that are going on now. The kid with the AR-15, running around it was a video shoot. He thinks he's on shooting videos. And then when he shoots people, you saw in court, I killed him. He's crying. Yeah, you killed him. You went with a gun over like a vigilante. Of course you killed him. I mean, it's these guys, and I kind of blame on the Game Boys and the cell phone, because the cell phone. Look what the Trumpies did when they tried to overthrow the. It was a movie.
Yeah.
That's what they did. They shot Trump wrote a movie. That's all. There was no real plan to take the government back. They wanted the cameras on them, and they wanted to storm the Capitol. And they had no plan.
Yeah.
And if they had a plan, they would have had the military behind them. Because that's how you do a coup. You don't do it with politicians. You do it with military, and you put people in jail and you shoot them or whatever you have to do. but Trump thinks that he was in a movie. He got trained on The Apprentice, and he thinks that's what real life is like. Oh yeah, I can pretend I'm a billionaire. There. Oh no, now I'm a president. Hey, I really am the president, and he doesn't want to give up being a president. He likes that power, And so when they put him in jail, and they will eventually, I guess they'll treat him like a president, like a crime boss. He'll be in solitary confinement, and he'll have meals brought to him. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Now, I mean, but if this is the last question on this, like, I mean, is Travis Scott a murderer though? I mean, like, is he to blame? Like, should he be sued? Like, who gets the blame for this? And essentially, if he incited a riot, then he is responsible for 9 deaths, right? So, should he be sued? Like, should he be held accountable?
That's really up for the insurance companies to decide. That's the way I see it.
Okay.
Because that's who you're going to sue.
Yeah.
The club owner, they had to have insurance in order to have such a big event. The venue, it's not
Gotcha. Okay.
someone's farm.
What about so Britney Spears is free from her conservatorship?
Yeah.
Like, have you ever been in a situation where someone's trying to control your life and career?
Not really. We've been cheated.
Sure.
We've been denied proper representation. We trusted people. They don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. You can trust me. Down that road.
Right.
We don't need paper. We don't need any paper. Just trust me. But I see Brittany. That happened to a lot of people. Rosemary. Remember Rosemary? on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah.
She was Maury Amsterdam, Rosemary, and Reiner and all the rest of them on that show. Rosemary was a phenomenal singer. There's a documentary about her. She was one of the youngest ever to be. She started, I think, when she was 4 years old. She had this incredible voice. And when she was 7, she was the hottest thing in vaudeville and on radio. And her dad took all the money. When she came of age, there was no money left for her. Her dad literally stole all her money. And then when she found out, then she started from scratch and had to do it, much like what Brittany's going through. And by the way, this is to Michael Jackson too. You don't know about it, but you're getting a nice little scoop here. But Michael Jackson was being robbed, and when he died, it was very unfortunate. And the people that were robbing him, one of them committed suicide. And so I don't know the whole extent. Never hit the public. Never got out in the public. Yeah, when you get entertainers like Britney or Michael Jackson or anybody, they always have people. You see that? That's all yours. Yeah, money will. God, it's a virus. It's a virus. It affects everybody.
What happened with Michael Jackson? Are you saying who robbed him and who committed
The
suicide?
the people that were. I don't want to give out names because it's we can speculate, but because one of the guys that discovered the Jackson Five, so I've known Michael since the beginning. He was playing. Their group won a contest to open, to open at the Regal Theater in Chicago, and it was Jerry Butler and then my group, Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers, and so the first really to see Michael on stage with his brothers. So Bobby took Michael to Motown and got him signed, and of course the rest is history. Well, at the end of his life, Michael had a very smart, sharp business manager, but there was also a group of people that would, like Michael was supporting everybody, Joe Jackson, all the other, the whole family, and these lawyers they got into his bank account. They figured out a way to get in there. And so when he died unexpectedly like that, they weren't prepared. And see what happens when the will and everything else gets read, then everything, all the truth comes out. But I guess they hid the truth because we never heard anything about it. But I do know that one of the guys that was involved in that whole deal, he took his own.
So someone stole from him and within his camp after he died, and then they killed himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you know that? Just because were you like close with the Michael Jackson's people?
Yeah. Yeah. Was
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And then no one ever know it. Like that never got out to the public.
Never.
How did they hide it?
I guess it's gangster stuff. That's what I'm guessing.
Wow.
That's why I don't know. I don't know how far you want to go with this, but leave it alone.
Yeah, no, I
but I thought it'd be, I have a big problem with me. I've got a big mouth, and I will again. I think it's part of my comedic training, because I really. I'm a truth junkie, I about anything, I like knowing the real story.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's fun.
And that's the thing with Britney is so you're basically saying that what happened to Britney was happening to Michael Jackson, right? I mean, he was pretty much under.
Not he wasn't controlled by these people. They let him spend whatever he wanted. But when you got that kind of money, there's no way you can spend it. He'll go
Right.
into an antique shop and he'll say, I want this, 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 this. And then by the time he gets home, he forgot what he wanted. And so
Yeah.
when it comes time to pay the bill or whatever else, half the time his managers would come around. No, we're not buying that. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. Because he had no clue what he would.
Yeah.
See, when you're an entertainer, all you really need is an audience, a microphone, and a warm place to rehearse. That's your life. That's all you do.
Let me ask you this: what celebrity have you smoked marijuana with that people would be surprised to know about?
Well, I've already outed Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've outed Arnold. It was so funny too because what's his name? Stallone. Stallone and Arnold got asked at the same time, and Stallone raised, "Oh no, that's a lie." And Arnold had to say, "No, that's true. I did smoke with Tommy Chong." And I smoked with every Beatle. I've been in the presence of every Beatle except Paul.
Except
And
Paul.
of all the Beatles, George was the only one that handed the joint back to me. Take a hit, give it to George, took a hit, and George and I got high a couple of times. Paul is the only one that, and Paul is really the only. Saying, well, George too. Paul is the real stone pothead, of the group, and he knows that I'm waiting for the chance, and so whenever we'll get in there, we'll do it, But celebrities, I've been around them, but mostly actors. See, when you're a working comedian, you really don't have time to hang out.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Like I've worked with so many people, I've never met them because
Yeah.
they went on before I did, or after we did. We never met. I've been in movies like that Chappelle. I was in the movie, but I never met Dave. He came on the set to meet me, just to say, courtesy hello. But it's funny. I'll tell you, one celebrity. When you remember the Dean Martin roast?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I was one of the last to do one of those roasts, uh, and they were roasting me. And there was one guy, he got his break on my roast. He went on to become a famed comedian, but first of all, he's supposed to roast me. He never mentioned my name. He never had one bit of material roasting me at all, because everybody was really interested. I'm like an outer, people. If you know who Tommy Chong or Cheech and Chong is, we know that what you've been doing. This guy did not know anything about me, and he came on, did his act, and left. Uh, Dick Shawn, there's all these other comedians. They were there. Well, Dick hung together. We're all comedians. And I've always loved Dick Shawn. He's one of my favorites of the old guys, and everybody else. But the one guy, and I've told this story a few times. I told the writers, and and the writers, they came back to me. They said, "Well, he was supposed to be roasting you, right? So that's the ultimate diss, is to not roast me at all. The ultimate."
Oh, well, has there been any celebrities that you've not enjoyed meeting? Is there anybody what celebrity have you enjoyed meeting the least?
Good question. Good question. Well, I had an encounter with I've told stories in my book, actually. I've told this story because right after Cheech and Chong got signed, after we had our Dave's Not Here record, not just signed, but we had a hit record. Uh, Lou Adler, our manager, producer, owner of the record company, he had a party kind of in our honor, but as a rock and roll party. Well, everybody was at the party. The Stones were there. The Lennon was there. Rod Stewart was there. Everybody you could think of, and the acting, Jack Nicholson. So I'm in the. I asked Lou. I had a big fat stinky joint. I didn't want her to smoke. And Lou said, "Well, go use my bedroom." So I go in the bedroom and I light up the joint, and then I know John Lennon. He's sitting, not on the bed, but on the floor, sitting on the rug beside the bed. And so, John Lennon. I walked over, offered him a toke, and he said, no, 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 no. I can smoke now. He said, I got immigration problems. I can't be dealing with that. And then I turn around and, here comes Stewart. He's in there. And he's in the mirror, he's fixing his hair up. And so I walked over to Rod and I offered him a toke. And he goes, oh, no, no, no. My boy, I don't smoke that. And so then I felt kind of weird. So I put the joint out. And so then I walked out into the hallway. Boom, I run right into Nicholson. And I just seen a movie he was in. It's called Last Detail. And he plays like some kind of colonel or somebody. And in the movie, there's one scene where he combs his hair. And he doesn't have any hair.
Right.
But yet he's in the mirror for a good 10 minutes. And he's doing the scene. And the way he was doing it, it was fascinating to me, And so I said, Jack, that scene, the Last Detail, where you're in the mirror and you're combing your hair. And I says, and you don't have any hair. There's nothing to comb, but you're combing it. And you're in there for about 10 minutes. I said, how much of that was improv? How much of that was written? And he looked at me like I just took a dump on his shoe. and he says, you're in my way. Excuse me. And he pushed me aside. And he walked. I just walked into the bedroom, and I'm going, oh man, I'd never been. But that's what happens when you get high. With me, I get high, and all of a sudden I'm there. Oh, and everybody's here, and I think that everybody knows me, and I know everybody. There's no filter. so I'll never forget that, man. Well, we became friends. We've been kind of friends after, because Lou Adler, and then I don't think I was aware of who we were, because the record just came out. Only the radio people or whatever would know who we were, It took a while for Jack to filter down, and then after that we knew each other, But Jack, he's one of these real clever guys. He knows all the tricks, of oh, hey, how are you doing? How's the wife? Or how's the, you know what I mean? There's a celebrity bullshit area that covers everybody. Hey, how's everything? Everything going good? Yeah, great. You have no clue who they are.
Well, let me ask you this: you are 83 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
83. Are you in good health? Are you having any health issues, or I know that you're cancer free. I mean, but are you in good health right now?
I'm in. I actually excellent health right now. Yeah. I got a few aches and pains, but that comes with age. But no, I'm exceptional for my age, really. But I've been a bodybuilder all my life, and I still do. I still do bodybuilding. In fact, working on a routine for people sitting at long, boring dinners. you know, In fact, I was teaching a kid the other day, or about a month ago. We were in Aspen at one of those long, boring dinners, and I was teaching him how to work his use by clenching your butt cheeks. You can work your glutes. And by rocking back and forth, you can work your calves. And you can always stretch. You can do your stretches. Your neck stretches, and so no, I'm in.
That's awesome.
Considering everything, mentally, I'm okay. I get lapses now and then, but I've been no, I'm thank the Lord. I'm really good. I'm in good health.
Now this around your neck, can we smoke together? So I don't smoke weed. I smoke cigars.
I see that. You can.
Let's do it. I could say I virtually spoke with Tommy Chong.
Oh yeah. In fact, I was hoping somebody on the.
This counts. We smoked together.
Yeah. I was hoping for that because I have little rules. I want to get things. I'm looking for a lighter, and I got 3 right in front of me. When I do cameos, a lot of times I'll search and they'll find the ones that. Oh, will you smoke with me? Then I got an excuse.
Yeah. Look at this. Oh, this is a big one.
This is a bamboo a joint holder.
Look at that. Yes, this is a dream come true.
And these are also my NFTs.
Okay.
Take pictures, I'll sign them, and then sell them. Put them on the market as my NFTs.
Amazing. Now let's promote to like where you are selling your products. Where can fans best keep up with you, and where can they go to buy your products?
On the internet is the best. Hey Chong, I think, is my CBD. And just added. Hey Tommy Chong, but people know how to work the internet a lot better than me. So just look, Google Tommy Chong, find what.
All right.
That really is best.
Okay.
But here, for sure, whether you smoke or not, these CBD, these are nano, by the way. Do you know what nano is? Do you understand what nano is?
What is it?
Nano.
Okay. Yeah.
Nano means the molecules are so small that they get into your system faster. And so these are all tonics. So it'll get your system faster. But no, I'm like I say, I'm on a quest. I want to become the richest man in the world, man.
All right, let's take a picture.
Let me take a lighter up. See, this is another reason why I smoke joints, because they go out. And that's like okay, I've had enough, but not yet.
I'll take a picture real quick. Oh, that's the best. I got the puff of smoke. Awesome. Guys, the man himself, Tommy Chong, follow him on social media. Check out his products. No one knows this industry more like Tommy Chong. So you got to get it from his website. Tommy, thanks so much for being on the show today. This was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun for me, man. Thank you, awesome. And have a very good Christmas, very good Thanksgiving. Okay?
Yes, you too. Talk to you
You
soon.
too. I'll get